It's your boy King Buzz back with those exclusives. Welcome to the channel where we make no excuses. Shout out all artists, engineers, and producers, and I'm back with no video. Y'all know what's going on. Before we even jump into the video, I just want to throw a few things out there. I do offer mixing and mastering services. You can reach out to me and I'll hook you up. I do have presets for sale. Preset store will be launching within the next couple of weeks. Actually, a whole website will be launching. You will be able to purchase presets, a feature, mixing and mastering, all from my website. All right, that will be live within the next couple of weeks, I promise you. All right, now let's get into the video. So on my community tab, from time to time you can check in on my community tab. That's how you will be able to have an input on the content that's being pushed out. All right, so recently I made a post and I was asking, would you guys like videos dedicated to specific plugins? Right, so I got most of the votes said yes, I need this badly. Right, so today's video is about compressors. Right, everyone use compressors, so it's best that you know how it works. All right, so open up the compressor. I'm already in Mixcraft. I got my vocal here. I just recorded a vocal. It's actually from a song called Keep Your Head Up, which I dropped maybe 2 weeks ago. Check it out, great song. All right, but we're not here for that. On your compressor you have your threshold, your ratio, your knee, your attack, your release, and your levels, your output dB, your levels. All right, your threshold, whatever you set the threshold to, the only thing that passes through is anything above that threshold. Nothing below passes. You set your threshold to, it just depends. For me, I might have it on 12 or 10 or 8, or it just depends on the track. It always depends on the track for me. Live from the bottom, I got my vocal. So, a good range for me is usually either anywhere from -20 to negative, I would say 8. It just really depends on the track. But I also have a DBX, so my vocals are already compressed prior to me doing this step. All right, so take that into consideration. Like, as you can see, my vocals, my levels aren't really too spiky. Everything is kind of consistent. Like, the louder parts are even consistent. Like, you see here, nothing is just like way out of place. There's no lines that just spike all the way up or spike all the way down. The DBX does a really good job of controlling my vocals and keeping everything centered. The main goal when you compressing is you trying to keep everything centered to deliver a more in-your-face vocal, or whatever you're applying your compressor to. 9 times out of 10 it's probably your vocals, right? If you over compress, you squish it too much, and if you don't compress enough, then it's like out of control. So the whole goal is to control the vocal, right? So something like a DBX or preamp that already has a compressor is very how can I say this? It's a pivotal point. It's a pivotal piece of equipment, for the simple fact that it does a lot before I even get to mixing. Like, my vocals already compressed, the background noise is already gone, so on and so on, right? So I know I talk about this a lot, and it gets to the point where it's kind of like I'm trying to sell you a product, when in reality I'm not. I'm really just trying to help you get the highest quality you could possibly get, and I know that this piece of equipment can help you get there. And if you do decide to buy it, the link is always in my description in every video. You feel me? But all right, so you got your threshold. Like I said, wherever you set the threshold, nothing passes below there, right? Only above. Everything that passes above that threshold, it goes through, right? And then your ratio, so you got 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1. You can go all the way to 101, and you got 1-1, and what happens, right? So if you at 2-1, for every 2 decibels, 1 passes through. So if you do 5-1, for every 5 decibels, 1 pass through. So the higher you go, the more you compress it. obviously, right? So if every 10 signals only one get through, you know, that's a heavier compression than every 2 one gets through, right? So if you do 10-1, every 10 one gets through, but if you do 2-1, those same 10 signals you're letting 5 through. You get what I'm saying? You know, simple math. Right? So keep that in mind, right? So you go this way, heavier compression, lower compression, right? Keep that in mind, right? The normal ranges for someone that don't have a mic preamp would probably be anywhere between 4 and I want to say 6. Between 4 to 6, that's probably your sweet spot. But like I always say, it always depends on the track and how the vocal was recorded. You know, some people record low and it kind of forces you to take different approaches. Okay, so then you have your knee, right? Your knee is just how fast the compression is applied once it processes through the threshold. Like once it passes the threshold, how fast is the compression being applied, right? So hard and soft, don't let it confuse you, right? I want you to remember this. Put this in your mind. Hard, replace that with fast. Soft, replace it with slow, right? So the faster you want it is the harder you want it.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
The softer you want it is the slower you want it.
Oh, pause.
Then you have your attack. And your attack is kind of similar to the hard or soft, right? But it just works in a different department, right? So this is directly after the note processes through from the threshold, right? So it kind of, the knee is like, it's like a curve, right? So it's like a graph, right? So the knee determines how fast we're going to get to that point, right? How fast we're going to get to that point. And then your attack is how fast are we moving overall, all right? So for me, the attack is always I always want my attack fast. I always want my compression to be felt. So the lower the milliseconds, the faster the compression, all right? Then you have your release. And like I always say, release is kind of like playing 2K. You're trying to get a perfect release. You're trying to get it right in that perfect spot. So for me, too slow just doesn't work because some of the notes are going to get missed. They're going to get skipped. Too fast also doesn't work because it gives it a different feeling. It's like the vocals don't get a chance to breathe, right? So right in the middle, it's kind of like a constant flow, like, you know what I mean? And it's just the compression just going in and out, like, you know what I mean? Just in and out. It's just...
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
It's compressing all the vocals, but it's not doing it to a point where it throws the vibe off, all right? And then you have your level, which is basically where you make up gain at, right? So let's just say I turn all this down, right? So basically inactive, I just inactivated it with only the DBX. This is how it sounds.
Live from the bottom in the snake pit. Have you ever heard a snake hiss? It's pretty common for us to dodge bullets like the Matrix, never sticking to the basics,
right? So then obviously I don't want my threshold set to -40. That is way too crazy. So let's bring it up, you know, maybe let's go, like I said, let's go 10, -10, right in the middle.
Live from the bottom.
Wait, let's turn it back on.
Live from the bottom in the snake pit.
1-1. That's like you're not really getting any compression. So let me go to like, let's go to like 3-5.
Live from the bottom in the snake pit. Have you ever heard a snake hiss?
All right, so you hear do you feel the difference in like the soft and the hard, fast and slow, right? So
live from the bottom in the snake pit. Have you ever heard a snake hiss? It's pretty common for us to dodge bullets like the Matrix.
Where it's fast, when you turn it all the way up, it's kind of like it's suffocating the vocals. So you want your vocals to be able to breathe, right? So bring it down a little bit.
Live from the bottom in the snake pit. Have you ever heard a snake hiss? It's pretty common for us to dodge bullets like the Matrix.
My attack, you could have it all the way down, but I don't want it that fast. I might do it like right here.
Live from the bottom in the snake pit.
And that release, way too fast for me. So I'll bring it, you know, kind of up here, like the middle, you know, perfect release.
Live from the bottom in the snake pit. Have you ever heard a snake hiss? It's pretty common for us to dodge bullets like the Matrix. Never sticking to the basics.
Now, throughout the process, when you're compressing, you're naturally turning the levels down, right? So the gain that you lose out on, right, you make it back, right? So the whole goal is to take a vocal that's spread out, right, where the highs are peaking and the lows are lowing, and you bring them kind of together, right? And then as you bring them together, you're naturally turning the volume down, right? Which are your dBs. Your dBs is your volume, right? But I like to explain it in ways that just people understand. So it's like, okay, it's the volume or it's the gain. You know, people get too technical and people get lost. You're like dBs and this and that, and they're like, what are you talking about, right? So turn the volume down, right? And then once you got your vocal to the place where you like it, that kind of, you know, perfect compression, and then those decibels that you lost, the dBs that you lost, you can gain them back, right? So
live from the bottom in the snake pit.
We just gonna ease this up until it kind of sounds like, you know, a good level.
Live from the bottom in the snake pit. Have you ever heard a snake hiss? It's pretty common for us to dodge bullets like the Matrix. Never sticking to the basics.
All right, now, like I said, these vocals are like double compressed because I already have a DBX, and I'm actually gonna play around with the DBX after this video and see if I can actually get my vocals clearer than I currently have them. We'll see, but hopefully this video helps you understand how to use your classic compressor inside of Mixcraft, right? So you have your classic compressor and you have your Acoustica compressor, right? And same stuff, all right? Whatever you decide to use is up to you. Classic compressor never did nothing wrong to me, so I got nothing against it, right? So, you know, right here, I had it, I just had it on -10. What I had like 3.5. No, I had 4. What I had 3.5. I think I had 3.5. All right, attack, have it kind of low, 30, and then 500 is the max. If we want to do perfect release, I say I'll do 250. Won't let me get to 250. I'll do 249, and then you hear
live from the bottom in the snake pit. Have you ever heard a snake hiss? It's pretty common for us to dodge bullets like the Matrix. Never sticking to the basics.
All right. Now, but as you can see, this compressor works kind of a little different because it has the auto gain compensation right here, right? So if I turn off the auto gain, right, and then we take it to 0,
live from the bottom,
you hear how it's quiet, right? So in the classic compressor, at the end, I had to turn it up. I turned it up to like 6 to make it loud, right?
Live from the bottom in the snake pit.
All right, you see, I did that, and that kind of made up for the dBs that I lost. But in here, you can kind of just do auto gain, and whatever you lost out on, it'll do it for you.
Live from the bottom in the snake pit.
And I don't even have to move my output gain, right? So it just works a little different, but same thing, all right, you know. But hopefully, like I said, this video helps you out. Yeah, any other plugins that you just don't know how they work and you're trying to figure it out, comment down below, and I'll get these videos out to y'all, man. This is actually a great idea to just do plugin by plugin, because by the time I do like 10 of these videos, you know exactly how a complete vocal chain works, and that's pretty dope. All right, so we're gonna keep growing, we'll keep going strong. Y'all know what's going on. It's your boy King Buzz, and I'm out of here. Yeah.